Hello and welcome to the Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. I'm your host, Macy Renee, and we are going on a journey together, my friend. If you've been looking for a podcast geared towards your growth, self-awareness, navigating your brain's daily mind drama, and deep inner work to become your highest and best self, you are in the perfect place. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. I'm back. I didn't quit. This is still a learning curve for me, so be gentle. But no, this is a really good example of just doing something that scares you and doing something that doesn't always feel comfortable. Today I was feeling the feeling of overwhelm. And I tell my clients all the time, overwhelm is just an emotion and emotions are temporary. So if in your life you're feeling any sort of overwhelm, no matter what it's from, just know that that is a temporary emotion and you don't have to live there. So that's how I was feeling today, just with everything that I have going on, but I still wanted to get in here and give you guys a good podcast. So today we're talking about the mind and why it is so hard to change and do new things. There might be some people that listen to this podcast that have maybe never had any sort of personal development, maybe don't even know what it is. That was me 5 years ago. Maybe have never had any experience with coaching or life coaching. And so I just want to offer you that the way to get the most out of this podcast is just to come listen with an open mind. Because if you can at least do that, you are taking in information that maybe doesn't mean anything to you today, but the more that you hear it and the more you surround yourself with it, you'll start having those aha moments, those epiphanies like, oh wow, I've heard this before, or somebody else has said this, and you'll be able to use it. So why is it so hard to change? And why do we constantly self-sabotage and get in our own way? And this comes down to how the mind works. Now, I recently just did a 4-day training on the brain and how it works called Rewired. And that group is still open to women on Facebook. So if you're interested in getting in there, you are more than welcome to join us. I think there's like 97 women in there right now. And I share all kinds of awesome nuggets, and I definitely go deeper than I'll go on this podcast. But the women were really loving it in there and building good relationships and learning how to rewire their minds. So if you love this podcast, feel free to reach out to me and we'll make sure we get you in the Rewired group. So anyways, the brain, back to the brain. The reason I wanted to do this podcast today is because, for instance, today I came home, and even on my way home from work, because as I've told you guys before, I'm a pediatric occupational therapist. I still continue to practice 4 days a week as I build my business as a life coach. And I love the work that I do. But I came home today and I felt very overwhelmed because there's work to be done. I was like, I want to be able to record a new podcast, and I'm a one-woman show, so I'm the person that clips the sound and mixes it and edits and does all the things, and I don't have any background in how to do it, even though I've done 1 episode. So it's like it's still in the stage of being a little bit overwhelming. Once I get more of these under my belt, I'm not going to feel as overwhelmed. But that was one of my thoughts. Like, okay, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I want to do the podcast. I want to have time to record an episode. However, I still am very new to putting it all together. So I also had this special paperwork that I had to get done for work. They had a deadline on it. They wanted it done Wednesday, and I had tried to attempt it on Friday, and it was just really, really difficult. I was trying to do it from my phone, which wasn't the most user-friendly. And I was dreading, like on my way home, I was like, oh, I just dread doing all of that paperwork. And then I've also been trying to be productive on my way home and do like my occupational therapy documentation when I get home rather than waiting until Sunday like I have done in the past, because I finally got to the point where I was putting it off, and I would constantly do like, I'm not kidding, like probably 20 occupational therapy documentation notes on Sunday. And I got to the point where I had this belief, like I hate Sundays. I absolutely dread Sundays. And I didn't like how that felt. And so like I tell my clients, like sometimes you just have to prioritize and do the things that you don't want to do first so that you don't have those same thoughts of like, oh my gosh, I hate Sunday. And the only reason is because I procrastinate and don't get things done. And so all of this was like flooding my mind, and I felt super just kind of anxious and overwhelmed and a little bit agitated at everything that I had to get done. And it made me think of, why is this so difficult? Why is it so hard to put one foot in front of the other and just do the thing? Why is it so hard to change? Why? And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share with you guys why that is. So your brain, if you are not aware, is designed to constantly keep you in a state of comfort and to protect you at all times. So in anything that you choose or decide to do in your life, if it is going to cause any sort of discomfort or fear or any type of bad feeling, your brain is going to say, abort mission. I do not want to do this. This does not sound fun to me today. Let's go watch Netflix, or let's go eat popcorn, or let's go to a coffee shop, or let's text our friends, or let's scroll on Facebook. And the reason that we do this, and I see this with my clients all the time, they're like, I've got so much I need to get done, and I just feel like I have no motivation to do it, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And I constantly respond, it is your brain seeking comfort. When it is time to do something that is of more importance than just being able to operate in a robotic fashion, which is what our brain likes. Our brain likes predictability, it likes comfort, it likes knowing what comes next. And so if you have a routine and you constantly know what's next and you know what you're going to do, and then you're like, there's this new task that gets thrown your way, all of a sudden your brain is like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't want to do this. I do not like the way that this feels. This feels uncomfortable. It's not our norm. It's not our routine. What the actual F? And so at that point, your brain is telling you to just abort or put it off. Because the thing about the brain is it's constantly in a state of avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. So if it cannot figure out a way to seek pleasure, then it's going to avoid the pain. So for instance, for me today, I would have much rather, I was so tired, and my brain had convinced me that I really needed to come home and take a nap. Like I just couldn't get these tasks done without a nap. That is like something that my brain does a lot. It constantly tells me you will just feel so much better if you nap. But I don't get things done. Like I end up napping, and I usually wake up feeling like I got hit by a Mack truck, and then I don't feel very good because I'm groggy and hungry, and I just put stuff off. And tonight I have a coaching call actually with my Inner Mastery ladies that are in the second round, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just so done with my brain giving me stories around feeling comfortable. So I need to embody, obviously, like what I'm teaching my clients. And that is just getting it done. Because the only reason I'm not getting it done is because my brain feels so much discomfort. So anytime that you're doing something in your life, whether it's this big, scary step that you want to take, like maybe starting a podcast or starting a business or running for the next rank in your business or doing a consult for, someone, or, even applying to your dream job. If you start here's what you'll notice. You're going to immediately notice all the ways that it doesn't make you feel good a lot of the time. I see this on Facebook. I'll see like a friend that says, I really want to go back to nursing school, or I really want to do X, Y, and Z, but, and that but is just your brain trying to predict all the ways it could go wrong, all of the things that you could possibly fear, maybe all the ways that you can fail. And it's just false evidence. It's just your brain trying to search its way through evidence and say, okay, here's what is going to happen if you do X, Y, and Z. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You might face some failure. You might feel some fear. This probably isn't a good idea. We can't predict the outcome, so let's just not do it. And I teach this a lot of times to my, private one-on-one clients who are really wanting to do something, different in their life, maybe move to a different city or take a new job, or be more productive in their life. And they get a little bit stuck because they're just like, I don't understand why I feel so indecisive. And one of the things that I point out to them, it's because your brain is not able to search for predictable evidence that what you're about to do is 110% going to work out. And if your brain cannot find evidence that it is 100% going to work out, it will tell you it's not worth your time, it's not worth the discomfort, it's not worth the fear, it's just not worth it. And this is where accessing your highest self comes into play, because how would you make that decision about whatever it is that you're going to do in your life if you knew 100% that you were going to reach the outcome after you made that decision? And so that's what I do. Like, I know, and I make a decision from the place of who I desire to be, not who I currently am. And so who I desire to be is someone who just comes home and instead of napping like I want to, she gets things done. She just does what is uncomfortable, because I know that it's just my brain trying to keep me stagnant. And again, this is what keeps us in that day-to-day kind of mundane routine, and sometimes why we feel like we're just a robot living through everyday life, because in most of our lives are filled with subconscious patterns that you do not have to think about. So I want you to think about this for a second. Every single morning when your alarm goes off, you have a way that you turn it off. You have, the same side of bed that you probably get out of every single day. Your feet hit the floor. You probably check your phone. Most people check their phone before they're even out of bed. You probably walk to the bathroom, do whatever your normal routine is in there. Maybe you're getting ready for work. You don't have to think about all of the things that are already programmed in your subconscious, like how to brush your teeth, how to turn on a light switch, how to flush a toilet, how to comb your hair, how to do any of those things. You don't have to do that because you've done it so much. It's become habitual. And that habit has been saved in your subconscious patterns. And so from a day-to-day basis, a lot of times we are stuck in this same routine. So when we try to do something new, our brain is like, hold up, this is not a part of the program. This is not what we normally do. Are we sure that this is going to be okay? It doesn't feel right. We should probably not do it. And it's going to be very important for you to realize, like, in your life, that if you want to get to the next level, if there's something new that you're wanting to do, you have to understand that the fear that you feel or the discomfort that you are experiencing is nothing more than your mind doing its best to keep you safe and to feel comfortable. And if you can wrap your mind around that, I promise you, you will be okay. And this is, I'm not going to sit here and say it's the easiest thing in the world to do, because if it was, more people would be following their dreams. More people would be doing things they actually want to do. More people would not have as many limiting beliefs around why they can't do something. We do all of those things because it's what our brain wants. It feels more predictable. It feels more comfortable. It feels safe. I want you to think about the next time that you go to do something, if you have any of those negative emotions come up, that you just remind yourself, this is just my brain looking for a way to feel cozy and comfortable. And if you feel fear, it's your brain trying to search for past evidence that what you're about to do works 100% of the time. And if it can't find it, you're going to feel more than likely an emotional response of fear. and fear is just false evidence appearing real. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you think about it, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye. Hey girl, before you go anywhere, I just want to remind you that my 12-week signature program, Inner Mastery, is launching for the third and final time this year in 2019 on September 4th. If you've been looking to go further in your personal development journey, self-exploration, really getting to meet yourself, and awesome transformation, you will love this group coaching program. The women absolutely love it, and the transformations are incredible. If you want more information, please visit MacyRenee.com. I'll be sure to put it in the show notes, and reach out if you have any questions at all. Enrollment is open until August 31st, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.